So what we need, okay, is this, okay? What we want to be able to do is to have a very short sentence so that if a qualified audience listen to that first sentence, they're going, oh wow, tell me more. What do you do? This is probably one of the most common questions people ask, and guess what? Most people fail and they're horrible at answering this question. Most of the time, people answer that question with their job, their occupation, their title. Oh, I'm an engineer, I'm a lawyer, I'm a designer. Guess what? In the online world, nobody cares. And the only thing that they truly care about is the result you help them generate. And today in this video, I'm going to be taking you behind the scenes to a coaching call that I did to walk you through these set of questions that you must know the answer to when it comes to really defining your audience, who you serve, and the result you help them generate. Let's begin. Escape the 9 to 5, live anywhere, and join the new rich. What is join the new rich? Join the new rich doesn't mean anything. It's an intangible, right? But it's powerful. Why? Because it's like, what does it mean, join the new rich? Well, escape the 9 to 5 is very tangible. People know what it means. Joshua, are you here? Oh, okay, cool. Welcome, Joshua. So, Joshua, what we're going to do is, as always, let's begin with this question of who do you serve and what is the result you help your audience generate?
Yep. Thanks, Peng, Joon. I've been waiting for this for more than a month. Thanks for picking me up. So I'm doing business automation service. We help people with automation, making automation to their business by creating systems and everything else. And to be specific, it's a service industry, like consultants, coaches, and all that. And I'll make a cloning system for them to make online courses and to make services like what I did, done with you, done for you, and so on. That's the background of my business. My question is not about the ads, but it's more about how I supposed to use your frameworks in my webinar.
Okay, cool. Joshua, so before we go deep into the question, okay,
yeah.
Here's what I like us to do first, okay, because this is as real as it gets. Before we begin, out of 10, I would like all of you to collectively just do a quick rating on how clear was it for you in terms of what Joshua does and his results he brings to the table for his audience. So who do you target? I heard that there were service providers, but at the same time there's course creators. So who would you say is your perfect ideal client?
My perfect ideal client is now service industry, service business.
Okay,
so do like everything. Like I help factories, I help everything else. But now I'm focusing on the niche, which is the service business. Usually for a service business, we have to do everything by ourselves. Sorry, if I can rephrase my business in 3 sentences, it will be, I help a service business with business automation so they can go on vacation while their money is on multiplication. So that's my catchword.
So before we take a look at your webinar or the ads, let's try to tighten this up first, okay? Because we want to be able to make sure that we are very clear on who it is you serve and the results we're able to help them, so that we can able to use that again and again throughout the funnel. So what I want to be able to do, and by the way, this is something all of you need to revisit time and time again to really make sure, is this the audience I want to be able to attract? Is this the target? Is this the focus? So what we want to be able to do right now is we've determined that Joshua helps service providers, okay? Now, here's the thing, okay? So what we want to be, you guys might have heard me say this before. We always want to be able to have the balance between either macro and micro, or tangible or intangible. Now, what is macro, micro, or tangible, intangible? It means this. It means that whenever we are explaining something, a result, what is intangible? Intangible would be like, I help service providers to clone themselves. Now, by the way, is cloning themselves a great marketing phrase? Love it, right? It's amazing. However, at the same time, it's an intangible thing. People and audiences may not necessarily understand, so what does it mean to clone myself? Does it mean that Joshua is going to help me hire a right-hand person that does exactly what it is that I do? Does it mean that Joshua is going to help me write down all of the SOPs and my daily activities on a daily basis and put it into a software that helps to streamline and automate that through an SOP, right? So what we want to be able to do is every time when we're explaining what we are doing, is we want to make sure that there's that balance between that tangible and intangible. A good example that I will give you guys on somebody who does this extremely well when it comes to the benefit that is going to be utilized in your copy. Let me bring some of his examples up and how you'll be able to utilize this. Okay, so one marketer that does this very well in terms of benefits, takeaways, tangible, intangible. Let me share my screen. Is Timothy Ferris. For example, escape the 9 to 5, live anywhere, and join the new rich. What is join the new rich? Join the new rich doesn't mean anything. It's an intangible, right? But it's powerful. Why? Because it's like, what does it mean, join the new rich? Well, escape the 9 to 5 is very tangible. People know what it means. Now, what does this mean for all of you? It means that when it comes to your messaging, when it comes to your pitch, your presentation, your sales video, your ad, the introduction of yourself and what it is that you do, it is okay to have the intangible, which is I help entrepreneurs clone themselves. But if we have a messaging or a piece like that, we gotta be able to give our audience the tangible as well, so it becomes clear in the mind that backs up this intangible. Then the next thing you need to do is to think about, okay, so what's the tangible? And one of the ways we can link it to the tangible is the word through. Right? Is it through better systems and processes? Through hiring their perfect assistant that will be able to offload the low-level tactical items to, right? Is it through creating a sales process that helps them automate and streamline the delivery of the products and goods and services, right? So this is what then a person will be like, oh, so that's what it means when it comes to cloning and duplicating myself. Okay, so Joshua, for you, what would this be? Is it through checklists, through SOPs? Is it through a sales process? Is it through hiring a right-hand person? What does it mean to duplicate and clone themselves? So what we need, okay, is this, okay? What we want to be able to do is to have a very short sentence so that if a qualified audience listen to that first sentence, they're going, oh wow, tell me more. Okay, so that initial sentence doesn't need to be detailed. So the statement that you would have over here, Joshua, would be, I help service providers clone and duplicate themselves through better systems and processes. That's it, right? Keep it clean so that if somebody's qualified, if they are a service provider and they want to be able to clone and duplicate themselves, then they're asking, oh, tell me more. So what I would like you to do right now is, right, if you've been to old school new strategy, it's just I, fill in the blanks. It's usually a verb. I help, I train, I empower, I enable, I teach. Target audience, service providers, speakers, authors, network marketers, real estate agents. To result, okay, to achieve superhuman strength, to live the good life, to join the new rich, to clone and duplicate themselves. If it's an intangible, like this one, to clone and duplicate themselves, then you gotta explain what it means through what? Through better systems and process, right? Through automation, through self-publishing a book, right? Through virtual events, right? What is the mechanism? Think about what is the best mechanism that's going to enable me to attract these clients, whether it's through the webinar, whether it's through a workshop, or whether it's through a book, or whether it's through a free event, whatever it might be. The first question I want to ask and think about is where are these people hanging out and how do I need to start the conversation so that I can demonstrate that I can add value so that eventually they will end up here. Okay, so to give you an example, I realized that my best clients, the ones that we would be able to easily deliver ROI, the ones that would give least amount of issues, and the ones where with minimal work and effort on my end, I can easily get them 10x returns plus more. A long time ago, I asked myself, who would these clients be? Okay, and I know without a doubt that client would be somebody that either does live events, is a speaker, or have at least intentions to do one. Why? Because I know that the moment they do an event, a workshop, a webinar, a training, just by fixing their offer, their close, their stack, one of these moving parts, they will be able to get back their returns many, many times over, right? Just from the next time they do that pitch or presentation event. So, because I know that that is my ideal client, which is either speakers or people who want to become speakers and deploy it into workshops or virtual events or live events or trainings, and because I know that those would be the most qualified for the Legacy Mastermind at $30,000 a year, then I'm asking myself, okay, so what is the conversation that needs to take place beforehand so that I can demonstrate that I probably know what I'm doing in order for them to get here? Would having a larger audience that's less qualified, but with more people in the room, out-convert a paid but smaller but more serious audience? Here's how I distinguish a 2-hour webinar versus a 1-day or a 3-day or a done for you, okay? And it's this. Before I tell you the answer to this, Joshua, the thing that I would like all of you to know is that it's not the answer everybody is looking for, but even like for myself, I'm constantly testing, okay? And until you test and roll it out and switch things around and see the numbers for yourself, it's all just speculation. So how do you differentiate this to make sure things don't overlap? Okay, and some of you might have asked this question in the past before as well, which is like, if I am doing a free webinar, how do I differentiate my free content that's on YouTube, on social media, on webinar versus my paid one? Does it mean that I got to pull the brakes and not give out my best stuff? Because if I gave my best stuff, then a person won't buy my stuff? Okay. Here's the way to strategically think about differentiating free, low ticket, and paid. So here's how I think about information. Okay. How I think about separating all these three things here is like this. When it comes to free, whether it is on social media, YouTube, Instagram, whatever it might be, okay, at this level here, I always believe in giving everything that I have when it comes to information, because information should never be held back. That's the same mindset you should be adopting when it comes to publishing any type of free content. The same way I'd like you to think about how you could be in fitness, weight loss, showing people workouts, right? You guys might have heard me say this example before. Every single tactical thing on a workout, whether it's a Zumba class, whether it's a yoga movement, whether it's a sit-up, whether it's bodybuilding, right? Wouldn't you agree that all of that would be found for free on a YouTube video? There's no secret movement, right? There's no secret sit-up that says, if you sit up at this magical 34.333% degree angle, and when you clench your abs and your butt at the same time, right, it's gonna give you significant results, right? There's no such thing, right? It's all over there, right? The question is, if all of the best stuff in weight loss and fitness is available for free, then why isn't everybody, fit and ribbed and shredded with six-pack abs? The tactical is free. Why are people still paying for a coach, a training, a 90-day challenge, a weight loss boot camp, right? Why they feel paying for that is because information alone will never create change. To answer your question, Joshua, in terms of understanding how to differentiate, at this first level over here, you just give all of your best stuff. Why? Because you want to be able to demonstrate that you know what it is that you're doing, and you want to help your audience by genuinely helping them. So the question is, well, what about if it's a 2-hour webinar? If I give all my free stuff on YouTube, well, why would somebody come for my 2-hour webinar? And if they did come on my 2-hour webinar, how is this 2-hour webinar going to be from the same from the 1-day workshop? So here's how we will begin this process. We'll begin this process by mapping out this thing together, right? So your 1-day workshop or a 3-day workshop, whatever it is, this is where you would now start showing them the how. So the question next is, well, then how do I differentiate between the done for you and the workshop, right? Now obviously done for you is when you can come from an angle of you don't need to lift a finger. So you want to think about, if it's a done for you, how can you show them that if you wanted to be able to do all this? The next thing you're going to take into account to kind of summarize what it is that we've talked about is be very clear about your messaging, who it is you serve, the result you help them generate, tangible, intangible. And finally, number 3, when it comes to your close, it is not about having a new close. In fact, if anything at all, you want to double down and focus on the importance of the thing that you've been teaching them all this while, and why the next step, whether it's done with you, whether it's done for you, would be the thing that's going to help them solve the current problem that they actually have. Cool? Okay, guys, so Joshua, make sense?
Yep. Thank you very much.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the behind the scenes to this coaching call. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments below what your biggest takeaway is. And as always, be sure to smash the like button. It does help the channel out a little bit. And to subscribe to this channel if you want to be notified of future videos just like this one. Now, some of you asking me, how can I be part of this process? How can I ask you questions? How can I have you coach me or mentor me? We want to make sure that we are working with the people that's the right fit. You'll need to fill up a form. There's a link right below this video. Somebody on my team might give you a call to interview you to see if they're right fit for each other. And if you want to apply and see if you're a good fit, then all you need to do is click on this link in the description box below and my team will be in touch with you.